Hello my people, hello guys, welcome back to today's tutorial. Today we are going to learn how to make this beautiful detachable sling bag. It is actually two in one, and I want to say thank you to all of you for standing by. Let's get started. Okay, these are my leather. I've already cut everything out, but don't worry, I'm going to explain everything for you. This is for the back, and I'm going to cut two pieces of this. So what I have here is 15 inches 15 inches in length, and the width is 7 inches. So what I did here, from this down here, I went up by 7.5 inches. That is this line you are seeing here. Then at the midpoint here, I took 1 inch on both sides from the midpoint. That means here I have 2 inches. So from this 2 inches point, I now connected it to this my 7 inches point. So what I did is that I placed my ruler on it this way. I came down by 1/4 inch beyond the 7 inches line, and I ruled it and also ruled it. Now I'm cutting this out. You can see here there's another line. What I did here, I came down by 2 inches here, but I'm actually going to come down by 2.5 inches. I'm actually coming down by 2.5 inches. Oh, let me just maintain my 2 inches. 2 inches is okay. I'm using the 2 inches. So I'm going to cut it off. I will do that here now. So that's for the back, 2 pieces of this. Then this is for the detachable pocket. Detachable pocket. I have 2 pieces of it also. What I have here is 9.5 by 6.5. This way is 6.5. This way is 9.5. As you can see, I have shaped it. I've also given it a shape. You give it a shape of your choice. I've shaped it. 2 pieces. Here I have 6.5 inches by 11 inches. So what I have here is that from this down here, I went up by 6 inches. That's this line you are seeing here. So at this the midpoint, I have here 1.5. That means I took 0.75 on both sides. 0.75 on both sides of that's 3/4 inches on both sides of the midpoint. Then from that 3/4 inches point, I curved it to meet the 6 inches line. I curved it on the both sides. What you do, if you get your curve on one side, just fold it this way and use it to shape the other side. That's what I did. I also shape it here because I don't want it to be pointed. So this is my gusset for the pocket that will accommodate this detachable bag that I will insert inside it. So this is the gusset. I have here 18.5 inches by 3.5. But what I did here at the 2 edges, I remove 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch here. Then I now come down by 4 inches here. I connected it to the 4 inches. That's what I did here. So this point is less than with 1 inch. Here I have 2.5 inches, while here I have 3 inches. That's what I did here. So here I have 6.5 inches by 6 inches. So what I now did, from the down here, I went up by 4.5 inches. I ruled a line. Initially I went up by 4 inches, but when I saw that the pocket is small, I now added ½ inch to it to make it 4.5 inches. So this line is not relevant. This is the one we are working with. So when I now got my 4.5 inches line, I turned it as a straight line. Then what I did, that from that point here, I just put my ruler this way from the 6 inches point. I connected it to 4.5 inches line. That's what a slanted line. Then after that, I gave it a curve because I don't want it to be sharp. But when I look at this, actually I'm going to reduce this. So what I'm going to do now, like I said, I have 6.5 inches, so I'm going to work with 5.5 inches. In case when you're making yours, you work with 5.5 inches, because when I check it on here, because I'm going to sew it on this, when I check it, is almost the same size. So I'm going to remove ½ inch here. I will remove ½ inch here. I will remove ½ inch here. I will also remove ½ inch here. That's what I'm going to do to correct it now, because it's going to be, I'm going to top stitch it here by the time I'm done sewing it. So that's it for this. Reshaped it, so I'm going to trim it out now. So I have also cut a gusset for this. So what I have here is 1.25 inches. 1.25 inches. What I did here is I measured it here around, so to get the round measurement. That's what I did. When I got the round measurement, and I decided how many inches that will be down, the up will be the zipper. I'm not attaching any gusset on the zipper, only the zipper here. Then the down will be this. So now I've also cut foam and lining for everything. For my foam, I reduced the size of the foam. In fact, I removed ½ inch round, so that 1/2 inch is for my seam allowance. So if I have here, for example, 6 inches, what I cut as my foam is 5.5 inches. If I have the length as 11 inches, what I cut as my foam is 10 inches, because I remove half here, remove half here. Here also I remove half here, remove half. That means I removed 1 inch. What I will have is 5 inches. So to summarize everything, I removed ½ inches round on my foam. Then on my lining, I added a little allowance. When I'm done sewing, I will trim it off. So now we are going to start our sewing. So this is what I'm working with now. Okay, now I've cut out my zip. I'm going to fix the zip head. So now I'm going to put my gusset on my zip, right side of my leather facing the right side of the zip, while the wrong side of my lining will be on the wrong side of the zip. I'll put it this way. I will sew it here. I will make it equal here and also sew it on this side. Okay, I've sewn my gusset to the zipper. This is what I have. So now I'm going to notch the center of my zipper. You bring it, align the two joining. Align the two joinings together. Make sure that they are well aligned. Then I'm going to notch my zipper center here, and also here. My center down is already indicated because I cut the gusset into two and join it together. So now I'm going to get the center of this also, which I have already done. I use my marker to indicate on it. So I'm going to put my zipper on it. right side facing each other. I will clip it down. I'm going to arrange it round. So I'm done arranging it, and I'm going to stitch it round. Okay, I'm done sewing it. I've also taped it round. You can see I've taped it. So I've done it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the midpoint that I notch. This is already my midpoint, this folded line. I'm going to put it midpoint facing each other. Meanwhile, I'm leaving from here to here, I'm leaving 1 inch. From here to here, I'm giving space of 1 inch. Then I will start sewing it round. I will make sure that the space I have on both sides are equal. Take note of that. Space you have on both sides will be equal. That's what I'm going to do now. I will just top stitch it here. That's what I'm going to do. So as you can see, I'm done attaching my pocket. See the way it looks now. I'm going to sew my lining on this. So, but before I place my lining, I have here 1 inch belt of 2 3/4 inches. So, and this is my adjuster. I'll just put it in my adjuster this way. Centralize it here this way. I'll clip it. Then I'll bring my lining. I'll put my lining on it this way. So I'm going to sew from this point. I will sew this way, and to the other point. That's what I'm going to do now. So I'm done stitching this. You can see I stitched from here this way, I stopped here. So now I'm going to turn it to the right side. So when I turn it to the right side, this is what I will have. This is my buckle. This is what I will have when I turn it to the right side. Okay, now I've turned it. This is what I have now. So I'm going to top stitch on it. As you're top stitching, you fold in your lining. Don't allow your lining to show. So I'm going to start on this point again. I will top stitch it this way. I'll fold my lining in. My lining will not show on this side. Then I'll sew it. When I get to this side, I just stitch it round and trim off the excess. So this is what I have now after top stitching. This is the back. So I'm going to keep this aside. Okay, this is the gusset for my pocket, my bag. This detachable bag. Here I have 3 inches, and here I have 2.5 inches because I'm sewing zipper to this. So what you will have to do is you will measure it round. Whatever you get, you decide where you want your zipper to get to. Like me here, I want my zipper to stop at from here to here 13 inches. Then from here to here 15 inches. All the round is 28 inches, but I added 1/2 inch to my zipper and 1/2 inch to my gusset for the sewing allowance. So now I'm going to sew my zipper to this gusset. I'll just place it right side facing each other. Then I will put my lining on it. I put my lining on it. I will sew it and turn it over and top stitch. Then for this, I'm going to put it on the lining and sew it round on the two. Okay, I've sewn the zipper to the gusset. So I'm going to bring the down one, put it right side facing each other. Then I'll put my lining this way under my front upper gusset. Then I will stitch it this way. I will bring them together here, make it to be equal here. I will also stitch it. That's what I'm going to do here. When I'm done stitching it, I will turn it and top stitch. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring my gusset together to get the midpoint. I will notch the midpoint. I will, as you can see, I have sewn my lining. I've sewn my lining to this. I created a pocket. This is optional. I did it off camera. If you want a zipper here, you can fix zipper. So this is the pocket. If you look at this, I fixed lining first. I sewed lining first before I sewed the pocket. After sewing the pocket, I also covered it with another lining and sew. So now we are going to sew our gusset. So I'll bring this now. I'll turn my gusset. I want the zipper to be on my front side. The gusset will be on the back side. So I'm going to put it now right side facing each other, and I will have to make sure that the two centers align. So I'll bring the down one also, make sure that it aligns. Then I will arrange it this way. You see it corresponds. You see from here to here corresponds. That likewise this. So I'm going to sew it round now. I'm going to get the mid of the back also. So before I sew this my back to the gusset, I have to attach this buckle on it. Some people call it socket. So this opening side will be up, while this will be on this my body. Remember, it has front and back. This is the front and this is the back. So be careful when you are putting. So I'm going to fix my belt, 1 inch belt. This is 1 inch buckle. It has 1.5. I'll put it at the middle this way. I have about 4 inches belt here. In fact, it's long. I will reduce it to 3 inches. I'll put it here. I will stitch it before I will sew it to my gusset. By the time I'm done, so it will be up this way. So I'm going to stitch it here. Then when I finish stitching it, let me just peg it down. When I'm done stitching it here, I will put my back this thing, make sure that the two notch points meet each other, and I will sew it round. Okay, I'm done sewing it. The next thing, I'm going to tape it round and turn it to the right side. So after taping it and turning it to the right side, this is what I have. This is what I have. back. So I'm going to keep this aside also. So we are going back to work on this now. So I'm going to bring our gusset. I'll put it, my gusset will be facing this. I'll put it, centralize it. This is the middle and this is my notch point. I will centralize it here. I will arrange it. You can see till this point. I will do same on this side. This is the way it will be. Then I will pick my lining also. The lining will be facing my lining here. I'll put it this way. I'll put my lining, centralize it also. Then I will sew the three together. My lining, my front pattern, my gusset. I'll put the three together as I sew, and I will arrange. As I sew, I will arrange. So when I get to this point, I will bring my two lining. When I sew to this point, I will push this inside this way and close my two lining by the side here. I'll put it, my lining and my gusset, I'll sew it this way. I will do same on this side also. Okay, I'm done sewing this. So now we are going to turn it to the right side. So I'm done turning it now. This is what I have. You can see that the seam allowance is concealed in between here. Now that's why I sewed it that way. So now I'm going to top stitch here this way. I will sew this place this way and also top stitch this side. So after sewing it, this is what top stitching, this is what I have now. I'm going to keep it aside. So you know, I said this my back pattern is going to be 2. These are my 2 leathers. So in the one that will be at the front, I trim off this from it. From here to here is 2.5 inches. Why this? I did not trim it off. Take note of this. So now I'm going to fix my second buckle on this one. This is my belt, 1-inch belt. I have 60 inches here. So I'm going to fix my is it buckle or what? Some people call it buckle, some people call it sockets. So I fix my buckle. This is the right side. So this right side will be facing the right side of my leather. Put it this way. Then from here to here is about 1.5 inches. I'll put it this way. I'll centralize it and make sure that the space on the both sides are equal. So I'll put this on top it and sew. That's what I'm going to do now. I'll put this on top it and sew. I've sewn it. So I'm going to open this seam line. I'm opening it, I'm top stitching into 2 places. So I push this down this way. So I will top stitch here on the up one first. Then on this one, I will fold this my belt this way. I'll move it up to create belt for the bag. I'll move it up, then top stitch on the down one. That's what I'm going to do now. Please, when you're sewing this, leave enough allowance on your belt. You know you can lose easily. You see, I left enough allowance here. So this is what I have now after top stitching it. This is what we carry this mine. It will be this way when I'm done sewing. Have you seen it? This is the way it will be when I'm done sewing it. So I'm going to remove it and keep it aside. So I will keep this one aside and I'm done with this. So the next one now, I'm going to work on this. I'm going to, from here I will leave like 1.5 inches. Then I will put my 1-inch belt here. So this is my 1-inch belt. I'm going to put my adjuster inside it this way. I'll put another adjuster here also. So I'll put it out from here to here. I'm leaving like 1.5 inches. So I'll place it. I will sew from here to here. I'll sew like 1 inch down. I will move my adjuster to this way and sew here, as in here now. I will sew this way, this way, this way, this way. I will also cross it this way. I will do the same thing here. Then I will move my adjuster here. I will sew this way, this way, this way, this way. I will sew it down. Then my adjuster will be in between. I hope you understand what I said. I'm going to sew from here to here 1 inch. I will sew it the 4 sides. Also cross it this way, cross it this way. I will do the same here, 1 inch inside. Then I will turn my D-ring this way. I will sew this way, this way, this way, this way, and close my stitches here. Then my adjuster will be here for the hook. If you will not decide anywhere you want to put your hook, whether on the left or right adjuster, you can carry your bag anyhow. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm done sewing my D-ring. This is my D-ring now. If you don't understand, you see what I did here. I did the same here, then I now sew this. That's what I mean. So now I'm going to sew this together. I have to get the midpoint of this. This is the midpoint. This folded point is the midpoint of this. I'm going to put it together. I'll clip it. Remember, this is our back. I'm also going to get the midpoint of this back. So this one will be here. I'll put the 3 midpoints together. This and this. I'll clip it. So I'm going to sew it round. As I sew, I arrange. I sew, I arrange till I get to where this stops at this point, and also this point. That's where I will stop. I've sewn it. I told you I will stop somewhere here, but I extended it. You can sew to where you can be able to turn it from, because the other one we are going to fold it in and top stitch. So now I'm going to turn it to the right side. Okay, I'm done turning it to the right side, but before I close this upper part, I want to stitch my belt for this adjuster here. You can stitch it together when you are doing this, but you know it has to be on top. So I don't know how you will do it to be on top, but me, I just want to place it on top of this one. I folded in like 3/4 inch. I'll just place it here, arrange it for it to be equal. I will still follow my top stitch line. I will sew it this way, sew it this way, sew it this way, sew it this way. I just follow my top stitch line and sew it down here. This is for this adjuster here. So I'm done sewing my belts. Now the only thing remaining for our back to be ready is to top stitch. We are going to top stitch from here. When we get to this side, you fold it in and sew. You fold it in, make sure it's equal, and sew. Just fold in and sew. When you get, you continue sewing to top stitch this side till somewhere here. So when you are done top stitching this side, this bag, that means our bag is ready. Don't forget to trim off the excess here. You have to trim off the excess here before you sew. Okay, as you can see, I'm done top stitching and folding in and sewing. I also stitch down my belts here so that it can be firm. So the next thing now is to sew our belts. I've put my adjuster, so I'm going to put my hook. Please take note of the front and the back of both the hook and the adjuster. So I'm putting my hook now. I put it from my right side. So this is it. So I will pass it under my adjuster. You should know how to do this by now. If you don't know, when I pass it to enter this side, I will still bring it out again this way. Then I will arrange it very well and sew here. So the hook is what we will use to be, can decide where to put it on. So I'm going to sew this now. This is our belt now. You can put it here or here, anywhere can serve. So now we have to assemble our bag. This has to take its shape. This is our bag. This is our bag. This has to be here. This way. Then this has to be here. So if you are watched to this extent and you have not subscribed, kindly do so to support me. Like my channel, share my videos. Bye and see you in the next tutorial. This is our bag. I'm loving this bag. This is the bag. This is it. Detachable. I'll be detachable. I don't know grammar. But all I know is that my hand can make beautiful things.